Alright guys, so first and foremost I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to hear me out. I have nothing but the utmost respect for all content creators on YouTube, so I apologize for the optics and video quality. My name is Ashley, and well, this is me pulling the trigger on playing my part to maybe make society a little less shitty for everybody. Let's be honest. It's not great. That being said, I've been having a hard time trying to grapple with the fact that I don't believe in hypocrisy at all. I feel like what's right for one person has to be right for everybody or wrong for everybody. And more importantly, on that note, is I'm Ash No Cap. I don't cap. I mean what I say what I mean, and my words and my actions align. And that's probably the single-handedly most important thing to me that people understand about me. I am 34 years old. I am trying to currently rebuild my life. I became homeless in February. Shit's been crazy. But that is actually why I don't have sufficient recording equipment or microphone, honestly. I'm sorry, I'm very nervous right now. I am not the type of person who has an issue speaking to people ever. Like, I can't go to the store, like, anywhere without talking to folks. I am an extrovert by nature, but an introvert by choice, honestly. Being an introvert by choice is pretty self-explanatory, and I don't want to be an introvert anymore. I want to do what I can and play my part that's in my control to try to shed light on things, talk about tough topics so that way they're not tough anymore to talk about, to get people on the same page and have a better understanding of maybe how to process their own things. Because if I have any hope of helping society as a whole, I gotta start with the people first, innit? My people. And that's what I intend to do. So a few things. Again, please excuse me because I am nervous as fuck right now. This is so important to me, so it's very rough. This is not the way that I wanted to do this. I have been actively planning, preparing, doing my due diligence, my research, planning out things for over a year now. Again, unfortunately, financially, I'm just not in a situation where I could continue to wait to pull the trigger on this, figuratively, not literally, but it's always the hardest part of doing anything, is just getting started. So there are a few things that are extremely important to me that I want to share, particularly a passion project of mine that has to do with directly helping middle and high school age children, specifically. So I'm sucking up my insecurities as far as my video editing quality and all these things. And just for the record, I opt for bad lighting for a reason. I actually have 2 front teeth that are broken, and when it happened, it changed me overnight, because I've always been a joking, smiling, jovial type of person, so I pretty much have a resting bitch face all the time now, which sucks because jokes don't land very well when that happens. I have actively tried to remedy that because I wanted to be able to have my smile back, to be my total full self doing this. Unfortunately for me, the state that I live in, as being low income, they only started offering basic dental care to people right before the pandemic started. And by basic for adults, what I mean is basic for adults. They will pull things, but they won't replace them, no matter how inhumane that may be. In any event, I want to make a few things very clear about my intentions, because I feel like that's obviously the most important things. For one, I am going to tell my story. I'm going to do it in a 3-part video, put it on YouTube. I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to share everything. So please be prepared that the content that I will be talking about, both in my autobiography, for lack of a better term, as well as just topics in general, I don't hold back. I don't have the sentiment of anything being too taboo. I speak very clearly and concisely about everything. So I have no hope of ever getting monetized on YouTube, which is totally okay with me. because there's no price that can be put on doing something that matters to you more than anything ever will. And that's what this is. So, a few things I need you to know about me. At the end of the day, I could tell you about me all day. I could tell you the adjectives, the titles, the whatever. But I want people to decide for themselves, because that's what I'm a firm believer in. I don't believe in trying to sway people's opinions one way or the other. I don't give a shit if you say left or blue or purple or up, down, all around. That never matters to me. One of the most important things to me is that I respect, support all these things on an individual level. I want people to think freely for themselves, independently of outside influences, which is one of, I guess, my gifts, is my innate ability to convey and explain things and offer perspective. So please understand that I don't need people to co-sign for me. Nobody's opinion of me will ever matter more to me than what my opinion matters to me. But in the same context, that's how I feel for my perspective. For other people's perspective, my opinion doesn't mean shit. So I will share it, because there are things I have an opinion on. Obviously, everybody does. But in the grand scheme of things, in order to be logical and rational and objective and all these things, and understand your own feelings and communicate properly and all that, I don't want to sway people's decisions or opinions one way or the other. Every person matters to me. And I either want people standing with me, or I will continue to be a lone wolf, stand the fuck alone, and fall on my sword if I have to. I'm okay with that. A few other things. When I say that I think differently or I operate differently, that's exactly what I mean. I mean different. I don't mean right or wrong or better or worse or holier than thou. That's not ever what I will mean, so I want to be very clear about that. It's just different. Everything's different. Everyone's different. There's no one size fits all to life, and there's no rewind button for life. You may get a redo here and there, but I'm 34 years old at this point. I have a very good understanding of out there. I may not be in the best situation when it comes to being able to support myself as an adult as I should be, which totally accountable in that part. Not for lack of trying, though. But I was meant to do this. I was built the way I was built. I came from where I came from, which you will hear for yourselves if you feel the need to. I will put it out there, because I'm a firm believer in giving people the ability to understand things clearly and then decide for themselves. It's what I'm a big advocate for over everything else. I'm not talking shit. I have mad respect for everybody's hustle. So anybody that is an influencer, please don't take this out of context what I'm going to say. For me, my objective and my hope and my goal with doing this, I don't want to influence anything except for free thinking and individuality. I want people to be able to understand their own stuff that they're experiencing, because it matters. And the best way for you to be able to understand other people is to understand yourself first. People are just people. You have to teach people how to treat you. You can't have unrealistic expectations about things. And you also have to give the golden rule the basic consideration. It has to be always applicable. That's one of my stand strong positions right there. I don't go out there in the world and do things based on what others may or may not do for me, because let's be honest, the chances of me giving somebody the power to shit on me, they've shitted on me. But that doesn't stop me from always acting or reacting or doing things in a way where if the tables were turned, I do it on the hope that if the roles were reversed, what I do would be done for me. It's always applicable, because you can't control anybody or anything other than yourself. A few other things. I'm sorry, I'm so nervous. My big thing is I don't want to be a brand. I don't want to be an influencer. If I want to speak about something, I'm going to fucking speak about it. And for the record, parental advisory, yes, I curse a lot. I actually have a very good vocabulary. I can definitely use grammar, etiquette, all that properly. I choose not to. So I don't want to. The end. If I want to, I'm going to curse. So please, on one hand, I don't want to offend anybody. Unless you should be offended. Then I hope I do offend you. But when it comes to my choice of words, please don't dismiss my word choice, because then you might miss an opportunity for me to resonate and convey or help you understand something. So I hope I get that opportunity. My big thing is I want to start a movement. I am, like I said, 34 years old. I've known since I was 17 I was never going to have children because I was always going to break the cycle. That being said, there's nothing that matters more to me than children having a chance. Better, different, something than I've had, than what I've experienced. So it's very important to me that demographics don't matter. So I would like to start a movement. If you want me to put a label on what I intend or want to try to do, the movement is Opt to Not. I want people, when they're filling out applications or doing anything like that, if they ask you about your demographics, you should be proud of who you are and where you come from. However, with the exception of like medical predisposition to diseases or things of that nature, demographics shouldn't fucking matter. And I'm really tired of them mattering. You don't get to choose your board gender. You don't get to choose your sexual orientation. You don't get to choose your skin pigmentation any more than you get to choose the vagina box you come out of the world into. So that is my number one goal, is to get people on the same page with just that sentiment, because everybody matters, period. Nobody's more valued than anybody else. I have a lot of unpopular opinions that I will be sharing, and I would appreciate, and it would mean a lot to me, to be heard, because I always hear everybody out. I'm never dismissive. That's one of my things. You don't have to be apologetic. I hate when people apologize to me, because if you ever notice, when you call customer service, no matter what you're calling for, it could be something as stupid as you're trying to check your balance and the automated system wasn't working, so you get transferred to a rep. Almost always they apologize to you for having a call. So apologies don't mean shit to me. I will apologize. I have no problem apologizing. But for me, it's about accountability. You mess up, own it. And then make a concerted effort to not do it again. Because if you do it again, it wasn't an accident the first time. That means it's a pattern. Again, people are just people. You have to teach people how to treat you. I treat people how I want to be treated, and I give respect that I would want out the gate. But from there, no one's going to be able to read your mind or know what triggers you or what bothers you or what is over the line or cross the line or a non-negotiable for you. You have to tell people that. But at the same time, what's as equally important as teaching people how to treat you, it's having self-worth, to not accept people treating you in ways that you don't want to be treated, and you vocalize that. So that sentiment is another one. I have a few things. I've been trying very hard to be unbiased and objective, because I'm a firm believer in, you could put your feet in somebody else's shoes to try to walk in their shoes, but it's still your feet doing the walking. So it doesn't really matter how open-minded you are. You have to just not be judgmental, because unless you're in the situation, you have no idea how you would respond. And on top of that, even if you've been in a similar situation, what affects you a certain way is not going to affect the next person the same way. So I do my best to always not cast judgment. Of course, there are some things that I say that may sound highly judgmental, but I can assure you that's not the case. One other thing that's very important to know about me is I'm an asshole. Funny motherfucker. Comedian. I just am. I choose to laugh over being upset. I don't do the energy vampire shit. I don't do the bitterness. I don't do the Veruca Salt entitlement. Like, Daddy, I want it now. Like, that shit, I'm not with it. So, that being said, please understand that when I crack jokes or say things or make light of situations, particularly where it's not really funny type of situation, like where pain or trauma is concerned, please understand that I am never and will never in any way, shape, or form be making light or funny or a joke out of somebody else's pain. That is how I've learned to cope with my own and get over it, past it, rise above it, and all that. Sorry, you see my dog back there. That's my best friend in the whole wide world. She's 17 years old and 70 pounds. That's why I have all these bruises everywhere, because she like beats me up on a daily basis trying to carry her. She's another reason why I'm pulling the trigger. Which I will get into this. I had actually given up after a certain event happened a couple years ago, and I was waiting for her to go, because when I got her, I made a promise. She was mine with me till God parted us. So I was waiting for her to go so I could go with her, because I'd given up, sick and tired, being sick and tired, 1000%. But then last year, when I started to have the realization that I've always known that I was my purpose, there's nothing I will ever feel even partially as passionate about as helping people or trying to make a difference or try to do things different, just be a part of the solution and the new ways versus the problem. I don't focus on problems. When you focus on problems, the problems are on you. I'm a get her done, proactive bitch. I like to get resolution. I'm results driven, but I'm also proactive in my approach as well. I don't wait for shit to just fall apart. I try to avoid it falling apart as much as possible. Can't always happen, but that's the way I operate. In any event, last year, I lost my grandmother, and I had made some differences in my life because I came to the realization that if I was going to make a difference, I had to do things different. And I started to care. And it finally hit me that my dog, who's, like I said, almost 70-pound pit bull, the lifespan of that size dog is not 17 years old. So I have faced the fact that she's still here because, I'm sorry, I'm like unemotional mostly, but this is one of the things that will get to me. She's still here and she's suffering to love me because she knows I need her, because this is my purpose that I needed to bring to fruition. So these are the things you're going to expect from me. Yes, I'm an asshole. Yes, I'm cuntastic. Yes, I am direct, clear, concise. I can come off aggressive. I prefer assertive, but I can communicate with anybody on it in any way. I'm extremely sarcastic. I've survived by sarcasm. I do curse a lot. Like I said, I'm a very flawed individual. I'm a very honest individual. And I'm hoping that these are things that will give me just the chance, because nobody owes me anything. So if I can just have the chance, I know for a fact I'm going to be able to help everybody. And I know that that's like a real crazy just thought process, because you can't help everybody. You can't fix everything. I don't want to fix everything, but I can help everybody. I can't tell you how. I can't tell you when. I can't even tell you if you notice. But what I can tell you is this. The rule of thumb to become an expert in anything is 10,000 hours of dedicated research to said topic or category. I have spent probably more than double that, or close to double that, when it comes to things such as psychology, personality, human nature, sociology, nature versus nurture, these types of concepts, physiology. I've been in college several times. I've never been fortunate enough to graduate, unfortunately, because I've never been able to prioritize school. But in order for me to survive the childhood that I had to figure out how to cope with it, and I self-destructed and spiraled and self-sabotaged. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how to have self-worth every day, to give myself credit for things, or to give myself some slack, or cut myself a break, or not beat myself down over things, because that's what I do for everybody all the time, no matter what. So, like I said, I've been having a hard time because I don't do hypocrisy. So it's been a little rough for me trying to figure out how can I ask people for an opportunity that I've not been successful at giving myself. So here we are. This is the first thing that I'm ever going to do for myself, and I'm truly altruistic by nature. So I'm doing something for myself because I need to do it to be fulfilled, to say that I tried, so that when my time does come, however that may be, I know that I made an effort to at least try to do what I could. Can't be a philanthropist, I can't pronounce the word, but I'm broke, so I can't do that. So this is the next best option. You will expect a lot of different products or projects from me. There's nothing off bounds. There's nothing out of line. There's nothing that I am afraid to talk about. And at the same time, I think one of the most important things to understand about me is that I am a lover of words. I don't endlessly scroll through social media or none of that shit. I do it on the dictionary and probably PubMed medical research too, but mostly the dictionary because I love words. So when you're a lover of words, you typically, at least for me, I have an understanding that words are just words until people give them meaning. And the way you give them meaning is by your actions and your words aligning. That being said, there's nothing that anybody can say to me that will affect me because my mom has said worse to me than anybody ever could say to me. I will never dish out something I can't take or wouldn't take back and tables return. If I'm going to take a shot at somebody, I'm going to take it. But I'll take whatever's coming to me in return. So I'm a pretty insightful person, I guess would be a good way to put it. But there's plenty of other adjectives or ways to explain me, which, again, I don't want to sway your opinion. I want you to have your own opinion of me. I will not ask people to subscribe or like or share. Nothing against people that do. Again, I have no hope of being monetized. Would it be great to get paid to help the world? Obviously. But I'm not going to hold back or not say certain things or whatever in order to get monetized. Plus, I have a sentiment on you're not living a life if you're living for likes. So I don't need validation, especially not in that sense, but what I will ask of you is that if I help you or something resonates with you or something clicks to you, if you pay it forward, if you think that it might help somebody else or if somebody else comes to mind with something that I talk about or discuss, please do share it because caring is sharing. That is the point. I want to help as many people as I can. I don't like leaving people out of things. So I promise this will get easier for me. I won't be so ridden. I won't be so looking around ridden. I won't be so anxiety ridden. This is me pulling the trigger. It's the hardest part, as we all know. Plus, I'm starting to think it would be easier to do videos if I was like vain because I hate taking selfies and like maybe once upon a time, but not in the last 10 years really. I don't really like pictures, so this is kind of difficult for me. But it will get easier. And worst case scenario is, what do you have to lose? You could laugh at me because I love making. I'll do anything for a laugh. Like I love making fun of myself. I love talking shit on myself. So at least I'll be comedic relief. Oh, and I can rap. No, I'm not a rapper. I'm a gifted linguistic. There's a difference. I'm a lyricist. I just figured why not? So I could try to reach the demographic younger generation. If they can see I could flow, they might give me a chance to listen, you know. So great things are going to come, I hope, but I'm prepared for everything. I expect nothing. I'm owed nothing. Anything can happen. I could get not one view, or I could end up America's Most Hated, canceled out the gate, or what I hope is I'll be people's champ with the people, with my people. And basically everybody's my people. So I just want to, I don't know. I just want it to not be so crappy because I actually like being an extrovert. I don't want to have to be an introvert because people suck. And I'm not the type of person to just sit around and bitch about something. It's like shit or get off the pot, you know? So really, I have two options. Do what I can in my power to make a difference or just get the fuck up already. And my dog's still here. So giving up's not an option. There's no rewind for life. I was pivoting this past year. It's been very rough. And the reason I didn't spiral, the reason I didn't self-destruct, the reason I didn't give the fuck up was because this matters to me. And it's my purpose. And I'm going to do it no matter how much it hurts. So that being said, thank you for the opportunity for listening to me for my video. Now let's change the world.